welcome back to episode 2 of the Craft Workshop podcast. If you're new here, my name is Dawn. I'm a British expat currently living in the Netherlands, just outside of Amsterdam. I'm originally from Manchester and I'm living here with my South African partner Lawrence, our 2 boys Josh and William, and the fur babies Jack and Daxter. And I'm an avid all-round crafter, as I'm sure many of you are who are tuning in today. And my channel has predominantly been vlogging and a few tutorials, a little bit of travel, and I've decided a podcast would be a nice way of grouping all the crafty stuff that I have either completed, or I'm working on, or I'm planning to do. So welcome everybody. If you want to stick around, a like and a subscribe, hit of the buttons would be amazing. So, got my coffee. Hope it's not too loud. I am actually in my workshop, and if you're not familiar with the channel, I think it was the beginning of April, I officially moved into my very own workshop in my local art centre in Aalsmeer, which is where I live. And I've come today on a Sunday, hoping it's going to be a bit quieter, but there are quite a few people here. So if there is a bit of noise, you know, I'm not alone. There's many workshops here. I think there's about 15 total, although because of the lockdown situation, I'm not sure when you guys are going to be tuning in and watching that, but right now, today, filming, we're still in lockdown, so I've not met all my neighbours yet. Anyway, hope you're all well. I have made some notes, hopefully keep me on track. We'll see. So first thing I'm going to start with is a little bit of knitting. In the last podcast I shared with you a very easy, basic, no-brainer knitting project that I was working on, which is a scarf using the Katia Easy Jacquard wool. So I've done a little bit. I forgot to bring the pattern with me today, but here you can see this is a self patterning yarn, and the colours that I am working in are all these soft, I can show you close up, these are all these soft tealy blues, cornflower colours, and you can see this is a perfect beginner's project, or one of these mindless sit on the sofa or out in the garden and not have to think about something, which at the moment with COVID my concentration's not been great. It's worked in a very simple stockinette, and the edging and the bottom is basic garter stitch. So no rush on this, because obviously it's not scarf weather in the Netherlands right now. We're coming up into summer, so that's the only knitting thing I've got going on at the moment. So moving on to crochet, I've got a few things for crochet. So the last podcast I showed you this tiny teeny weeny little baby cardigan I was working on. This is actually a pattern from Woolly Wonders Crochet. If you're familiar with her tutorials, she's amazing. She makes beautiful baby clothing patterns, and they're very simple to follow. And this is worked up in a US double crochet stitch and a shell at the bottom. So all I need to do now is add a little wooden button and a loop at the top, which I do have at home, and block it, and then that's ready to probably go in my Etsy shop. It's so super cute. It's very nice. I can tell you the name of the yarn is Elise Super Cotton Gold, and the colour is 161. It's like this very dusky, almost like an antique rose or salmon pink colour. Very sort of vintage looking. It works up beautifully. So that's the first crochet thing I've been working on. The second thing is, if you followed me for some while from my Instagram account, you'll know that I've not had a lot of success with my amigurumi. Not gonna lie, amigurumi and I have never really been great friends until now. What triggered it is I made these little birds in the background, if you can see, and which I'll talk to you about in a second. And I enjoyed making them so much that I decided to invest in a book, which has been recommended by so many people on Instagram and YouTube, but in particular a lovely friend of mine, Elise from Le Petit Saint Crochet, the blog channel and YouTube and Instagram, and she makes beautiful amigurumi and yarn knitted toys. She's a bit obsessed with rabbits at the moment. But anyway, Elise has recommended this book to me for a long time, and I finally gave in after I've made my little birds, and I made and completed my first little peek-a-pow animal. So I'm going to unveil him now. Ta-da! This little otter. I've not stuck exactly to the colours that are in the pattern. So, for example, in the pattern, he has a yellow waistcoat, and I've gone for this nice, like a soft forest green, I would imagine it's called. Again, this is Elise Cotton Gold. I don't know the colour, I'm very sorry. I was stash busting. But for the rest of him, he's made with Schapier's Katona. And again, I'm sorry, I don't know the colours. Yeah, worked up very, very well. I'm super happy. Didn't have too many issues following the pattern. You know, I'm not a big amigurumi maker, but this has really spurred me on to try a few more of the other animals. As of yet, haven't got a name for him. If you want to suggest something, let me know below, because he's nameless. I've decided he's going to live here in the workshop, probably behind me in the cabinet, I would imagine. So that's the second crochet project I've been working on, and it's finished, and I love it so much. Following on from the birds, I have decided to make another bird, and this is because the birds in the cage, I'll give you a close-up before I sign off if you haven't seen them before. On Instagram, I am hosting a make-along with Jeanette from Crafty Creations, and I started making a little bird from a pattern which I'll tell you about in a second, and then a lady who I follow on Instagram inspired me by her vintage cage that she'd stuffed full of crochet, and I thought I'm having a go at that. Had such fun, and Jeanette seen my post and I was planning to do it. She said, well, I want to have a go. So anyway, together we've come up with a make along, and which I'll explain at the end of the vlog, because I'm jumping ahead of myself at the moment. But because I really liked making these little birds, one is a blue tit and one is a little parrot of my own making, but based on the pattern. Jeanette also did a cage, but she made an adorable knitted seagull. It is so nice, and it's just comical. I said to Jeanette, it reminds me of the seagulls from Finding Nemo, you know, that mine. It's got such the funniest face. It's really cute. I'm not a fantastic knitter, but what I did do is I've adapted the pattern. So the little blue tip pattern, that's actually by a pattern designer called Irene Strange, and I'm following a pattern called Garden Bird Buddies, and it's supporting every sale of the pattern. It supports the RSPB, which is the Royal Society of Protection of Birds. So I've adapted Irene's blue tip pattern, but all I've done, this is a work in progress at the moment, is I've extended the head. So this is going to be the seagull's head, and I'm working this up in DK yarn, acrylic from my stash, so I really can't tell you where it's from or anything about it really. And as true Dawn style, I've lost the yarn bands, which is a famous thing for me. But I think it's going to look really nice. So this is the body I'm working at the moment, which is the same colour as the head, and then I'll do his wings in this nice tealy duck egg blue colour, and yeah, give him a nice beak and hopefully a cute face. So hopefully in the next podcast I can show you him finished. And yeah, this is a great pattern to do, so I'm really enjoying that. Okay, where are we up to now? Okay, I mentioned in my last podcast, which was my first, so we don't have to get confused of when I was talking about this. I mentioned that I was going to work on a crochet shawl, following a pattern by a lady called Wilma Vestenberg, who's a Dutch lady, and she designs and gives out free shawl patterns on her YouTube channel. She has a Ravelry store, I think, and also Instagram, and in particular I fell in love with her JC butterfly shawl. So I had ordered some yarn a while ago from a Dutch indie dyer called Iris. She's from the Dutch yarn band. I had ordered this beautiful yellow wool from her, and I was planning to have a go at making knitted socks. but I've had quite a few disasters with knitted socks, so I gave up on that. And then I thought, this is such a beautiful spring, summery kind of colour. I wanted to make a nice, open, lacy kind of shawl. So I found the JC butterfly shawl, but I haven't got enough. This is one skein, and I thought I needed at least 2 skeins. So I, first of all, I'll show you the progress for the JC butterfly shawl so you can see how far I've got. I don't know why there's some random stitch marker in there, but anyway, yeah, so there is very clearly a front and a back for this. You can see these are the butterfly motifs, and I absolutely love how it's working up. However, I'm going to be honest, I'm not actually enjoying Vilma's YouTube instructions. In all honesty, just my opinion, and as I said, I'm loving how the shawl is working up. I did get a bit confused at some point, and having the YouTube tutorial, the visual, helped enormously, because I'll give you an example. There's a couple of, on the repeat, there's a couple, one of the rows is, you can see from behind, where you have to work in the front post. And the row before is a mixture of US terms, I'm talking now, double crochet and single crochet. And then in the next row, when you have to work double crochets in the front post, she doesn't make the distinction that actually from the previous row, you're working in the front post of doubles and singles. So, yeah, I went a bit wrong at the beginning. I've sort of fudged it a bit. I know it will work out very evenly, and when it's all been blocked, and you know, I'm an experienced enough crocheter to know that, you know, I've winged it in parts. But if I haven't bought her pattern, so I don't know if her pattern might also be a little bit confusing. What would have helped a lot is if she'd have done 2 full rounds, and then you know, I wouldn't have been second guessing. But anyway, as I said, the shawl is going to look beautiful. I'm so happy with it. So I had ordered some more yarn from a lady in the UK who's another indie dyer, amongst other things. Mentioned her before. If you follow me on my vlogs, you'll know that I'm a very big fan of Ellie from Craft House Magic. She makes amazing things. In particular, she dyes her own yarn. So I was waiting for Ellie's package to come, and it did come in absolutely beautifully packed paper. And I couldn't remember exactly what I'd ordered at the time, because when I opened it, I was expecting 4 mini skeins, and I actually got 7. Bargain. I thought for 4 it was a good price. So I can tell you exactly what I did order is her mini skein set number 4. That's what I ordered, and it's, I'm not sure if you can pick this up on the camera. There's Ellie's logo. I hope you can. There's like a little sort of sparkle running through it, and on the screen I thought this would look beautiful with the yellow, and actually when it arrived I thought, well, you wasn't wrong there, because you know how beautiful do they all look together. I'm not sure if I'll use every single mini in the shawl. Not decided on the order yet. Some of them, like this one for example, have got like little sort of yellow tones running through them, so that was the thought process behind it. Now, if you're not familiar with Ellie's yarns, one of the fun things she does, she names all her colourways after songs, but like, you know, the big hit sort of driving your car sing along kind of songs, you know, the power ballads and that kind of stuff. I think it's such a fun idea. So I can tell you, if you're interested in this mini skein set number 4, the colours are I don't know which is which because they're all bundled together, but the colours are I Think We're Alone Now, Holding Out for a Hero, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now, Smells Like Teen Spirit, Tell It to My Heart, Rock Me Amadeus, and Lucky Star. Now, doesn't that just make you smile, the names of those tunes? And I know every single one of them, and I'm pretty sure I've sang along to them at some point. So the yarn I got from Iris, that's actually, I can tell you, it's it's from Iris's sock range, which is called Swerve Sock, and that is actually a mix of 70% merino superfine, 50% cotton and 15% bamboo. And I thought Ellie's would be a nice mix with that. These are 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon and 5% stellina. So really, now I've done, I think, 3 repeats of the shawl, 3 or 4 repeats of the shawl. I've got it down pat now, so I am starting to enjoy the pattern, but I would say at the beginning it was a little bit confusing, but I think this is going to look beautiful. You can see it open with these colours. Very excited about that. Well, the other thing is Ellie kindly, I think because I've pestered Ellie about so many things, it's a bit following her. Ellie also sent a little gift for me. I was so excited. So I opened my little gift and in it plopped out some more yarn, which is so kind of her, and she gave me a little note in it, which was very, very sweet, to say, you know, keep up with the vlogs kind of thing. So again, this has also got this little sparkly, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, if it picks it up. I'm doing my best. Oh, maybe. I'm not sure what the colour is. I've got a feeling this might be I'm Too Sexy, I think. Beautiful. And then there was this tiny little one. Again, how sweet is that? Absolutely beautiful. All her colours are stunning. And this is called What a Feeling. What a feeling. What was that from? Flashdance, I think. So amazing. Thank you so much, Ellie. I know I already did thank you, but if you're watching again, thank you. I cannot wait. I'm enjoying working with Iris's yarn. I must say, this is a pleasure to work with. It doesn't separate and it glides off the hook beautifully. But I am enjoying working with it, but I cannot wait to get stuck into Ellie's sparkly yarns. I'm so excited. Okay, I think, yeah, that's all my crochet. So moving on, I can talk to you a little bit about some sewing. So in my previous podcast, as well as the Peek a Pal book, I also treated myself to this Tilly and the Buttons stretch. And again, sorry to harp on about Ellie, but Ellie makes a lot of things from Tilly and the Buttons, which she talks about on her podcast. In particular, she makes the Frankie baseball shirt, which I think she's got one in almost every colour you can imagine now, and they always look amazing. And I figured, you know, I am an avid sewer. I love to sew. I'm not great with stretch. So I figured, well, I'd give this a go and see how I got on. So I'm going to have a little sip of my coffee now in my Dawn Today's mug. That's better. So what I didn't realise when I got the book is, firstly, the patterns. So in the back is, I have mentioned this before, in the back is a little folder with all the patterns, but they're double-sided. So if you do want to order this, please be aware that you're going to have to trace the patterns. And I didn't, maybe it's mentioned somewhere, I stupidly didn't realise. I hadn't checked or done my homework, but whatever. I did have paper in the house, so that was lucky for me. The other thing is, it goes through from size 1 up to 8 is the largest size, and there's a gauge, a chart in the book that tells you exactly how to measure yourself, so you know which size pattern pieces you need to cut out. I went for the size 8, which is the largest size. Now I'm a bit of a busty gal, and depending on where I shop, I can fluctuate from a medium to a large, or a UK 14 to 18, or a European and Netherlands 42 to 46. So, you know, I'm definitely on the sort of medium plus large. Actually, I've even bought XL. So, you know, it varies. So the biggest size that the patterns go to is 8. So if you feel that you fit within my size range, great. And if you're a bit more well endowed than I am, a bit bigger, it might not be the one for you. Or you could actually buy it and just add an extra inch or so either side of the pattern if you feel comfortable with that. You have to trace the pattern out anyway, so I wouldn't see that as a big issue. Okay, which leads me on. So the Frankie baseball t-shirt, I am wearing that now. I'll stand. Ta-da, 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 ta-da. This was a stash buster. So I already had this very stretchy jersey knit, and then this very, very stretchy, don't know, tricot, I'm not sure what it is, in my stash. So they're at different stretches, so I was a bit concerned about mixing the types of fabrics. But anyway, it's sewn a dream. The pattern is very, very simple. It's front, back, sleeves, and neckband. However, here's the sticking point. I'm pretty sure I didn't piece my fabrics together, because when it came to fitting the neckband, it was all out of shape, and I tried it around my neck and even stretched out to the fullest. I felt like it was going to strangle me. So what I did, it's a technical term commonly known as fudging something. So I fudged the pattern and I've ended up with this. So this, I would say this neckline, I'm not completely thrilled with it. However, it's very comfortable. It's ended up more like a boating sort of neckline, which is fine. You know, it's okay. It was a one-off. I was just trying to see if I like the pattern and how the stretch was. So, you know, I will wear it, definitely. This jersey is very, very warm. I'm actually super hot right now. But this will be great. This is a shopping, watching the kids play football, pottering around the garden, autumn, winter kind of jumper. Learnt my lesson, got a few tips, and we'll definitely make it again. This is an accidental 3/4 length sleeve, because this was just a strip of fabric, and this is literally as wide as it went, or as long as it went. But yeah, absolutely did enjoy it. I think I'm going to have to adapt the neckline a little bit. I can show you the pattern in the book if you just bear with me. So you can see here, that's pretty much how it should look. So, you know, it is quite a sort of wide neckline. To be honest with you, I prefer not so much wide, but a lower cut. So I think I will play around with the pattern a bit, because as I said, you know, you are tracing it out. So that's a nice thing. You can adapt and sort of snip things off and add things on if you wish to do so. I've got a tailor's dummy, and I know where I went wrong. I did all this at my house, and I have not enough space. Once lockdown is finished and I'm able to go back to my my job working out of the office, the company office, then I'm going to move my sewing machine and all my supplies here, and then I'll have plenty of space to cut things out, and, you know, instead of sort of not being able to see things with a full eye kind of thing. Okay, so, well, that's the shirt. I've over stitched it with a zigzag. It's not quite sitting right. Might put a little tuck in the back where you can't see it. We'll see. As I said, it was a prototype, if you like. Okay, moving on. Where are we up to? Oh, I can show you some things that I've painted, or I'm painting at the moment. If you're familiar with the vlogs and also with my Instagram, you'll know just before lockdown, I went a bit nuts thrift store shopping. Not gonna lie, it became a little bit of an obsessive habit with me. But there was a reason. I actually knew in February, before the whole COVID situation, that I was going to get this workshop. So already, because I was so excited, I'd been out buying bits and bobs. This is actually a thrift store find that I painted myself, and the table that you guys are standing on, pretty much everything in here is thrifted. One of the things I did buy is I need shelving, I need storage. So I bought this ancient, rickety, old, tiny little shelf. You can see how small it is here, but I thought that would be ideal to hang on the wall here, because one of the things I'm planning to do is start my jewellery making again, and I thought this would make a nice display for earrings. You can see on the back, it was like this horrible dark wood. And what I did, I've painted this in Annie Sloan chalk paint. in a colour Tilson. It's not this colour behind me. This is more of sort of like a dirty egg yolk kind of colour, if you like. So I've painted it in the shade Tilson, a couple of coats, and then I've gone over it with Annie Sloan clear soft wax. I can show you. I have the waxes here. I don't have the paint anymore because I've run out. So that's the Annie Sloan soft wax. So I've painted, waxed, and then I've also just gone over on the edges, I don't know if you can see, to age it a little bit in the dark soft wax. You need tiny bit, almost a dry brush for this stuff, because it, you know, a little bit goes a long way. And then I don't know if you can see on the camera if it's picking it up too well. I've gone along the mouldings with this gilding wax, which it's called Treasure Gold. I don't know if you can see that so clear. Hold on. If you can see, yeah, Treasure Gold. This is amazing stuff. You literally pop your finger in and put it over any accent you would like. Sorry, so this is the way it goes. So this has turned out really well. This was €5, and I think you'll agree it matches with the decor in here, so quite pleased with that. Lawrence is going to come over and help me hang things up, not because I'm incapable of hanging things, it's just, you know, to have an eye. You know, he sort of stands with his hand against the wall and I say up a bit, down a bit, left a bit. I'm sure you've all been there. Okay, then the other thing I'm working on, I did post a picture of this on my Instagram. This looks a bit scary. This was also a second-hand find, and I am doing a technique which is called wet distressing. So I'm going to show you, don't be alarmed. This is a mirror that I picked up. You can see some, well, there you are, hello. That's a chair I'm working on at the moment. This is actually, I think it's tin, some kind of metal underneath, and the previous owner had painted it in this, yeah, concrete grey kind of finish. It's really bad. I did try to wash it off, I couldn't get it off, it was permanently stuck on there. So what I'm going to do is I am making it in almost like this turquoisey colour behind me, but a bit more greenish blue. That's going to be the colour of it. However, I'm going to do what I just referred to as wet distressing. So it's all going to be blue, and then what you do when it's dry, it's with a lint-free cloth, damp, you start rubbing at little bits of area, and then the yellow or the red or any other colour, you can put 20 colours from there, it's up to you, will start coming through. It's the same as if you do dry distressing, which is with basically sandpapering. I actually prefer the wet distressing. You get a much nicer finish, and it's softer. Sometimes sandpapering can give it like a harsh sort of scratched line look. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. When it's all blue, I start taking it back and showing little colours. Then I'm going to wax it, and then I'm also going to gild it. And the reason I want to gild it quite a lot, I think I'm going to go a bit nuts with the gilding, is just going to show you what's inside. So you can see, ta-da! These hooks and like a little, I don't know, trough. And you can see, showing the light on it, this beautiful gold colour. So I'm figuring like this nice rich distressed turquoise colour, gilded, and then with the gold on the inside. Not sure if I'll sell this or keep it, I can't decide yet. Yeah, I have trouble with sort of letting things go of stuff that I make. I'm one of those kind of people. But anyway, that's what I'm working on at the moment, paint wise. And then you just saw a glimpse of a chair. I've actually got a pair of them. I'll show you on another podcast how that goes. Oh, I'm moving a bit further back. Okay, well, I think I've pretty much shown you everything. Yeah, the make along. So if you want to enter mine and Jeanette's make along, the rules are, unfortunately it is on Instagram, so you will need an Instagram account. I'll put the name of the hashtag here. It's yarnbirdmal 2020, and the rule is 2 rules: have to be on Instagram, and anything you make has to be tagged with that hashtag. And it's the clue is in the name. It's yarn. So if you can't knit or crochet, maybe you can do pom-pom birds, maybe you can do needle punching, embroidery, anything with yarn really. And it's just for fun. It's really, really just about having fun. However, Jeanette and I, we're going to give some prizes. So we're each going to make, I think, a project bag, maybe a notions pouch, and a couple of other little bits and pieces. Not decided how we're going to award the prize. There's quite a few entries already, and I tell you, you guys have been so creative. And there's like some really cute things on there, but there's also really funny things on there. So yeah, go, if you don't want to enter, at least just check out the hashtag and follow, and just keep an eye on what people make. It is quite fun. As I said, that was what sort of triggered the make along. I'm going to get a close up so you can see. So here are my little birdies, and these were made with the Irene Strange crochet pattern that I mentioned earlier. This was actually made from the kit, the little blue tip, and then the parrot who so this is wonky because he's a bit of a wonky tit, and then the little cheeky parrot at the front, he's Gaston. And yeah, I bought a real bird perch from the garden centre, and I've sort of yarn bombed it. I've made this little like a little leaf garland, basic crochet stitch, teeny weeny bunting. There's a ball in there. Oops, sorry Gaston. And then I've lined the cage with some paper. And also, if I choose to hang him, there's actually, I'm not sure if you can see, there's paper underneath as well. Not sure. I've got another cage at home that I'm going to decorate, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that at the moment. I'm actually keeping this in the doorway of the workshop at the moment, and a little boy walked past the other day, and I said, "Oh, do you like birds?" "Yes." And he looked, and then I could see he thought they were real birds, and he went, "Whoa!" So yeah, I want people to just have fun and really go to town and yeah, make something nice for yourself or to give away, whatever you want. So that's a make along. The other thing, oh, I can just quickly show you. I think I'm gonna stock my Etsy shop again. There's a couple of things on there, but I think there's some earrings still, like these boho dangly kind of earrings, and I think there's a couple of scarves I think on there, or shawls. I've been a little bit slack on my Etsy store, I'm not going to lie, but I've been so busy with the workshop and trying to get the podcast going and etc, etc. So I think I am going to list a couple of the zipper pouches. I like to make really bright colours, so I've got this polka dot. This is one of my favourite prints. When I'm not able to get hold of this anymore, I'll be very upset. It's like a dandelion burst. I've got another one of my favourite prints, flamingo. This one's very subtle. This is more like a linen kind of look. And then polka dots. And then one of the fun things I love to do is, I'm just going to open them, is to make like cute linings. So the red polka dot one's got the cute owls on the inside. The dandelion one has got nice cotton blue and white stripes. And a nice contrasting zipper. Flamingo has got, this is like a Debbie Shaw print, if you're familiar with her, like a nice sort of Indian paisley, I think. This is my favourite. This muted one has got like this blue and white kind of gingham, and then this is also my second favourite, I think. And then this has got this nice sort of kitsch red kind of lining. So I will be listing, I'm not sure when though, sorry, so you'd have to keep an eye on that. And then finally got round to making a couple of drawstring project bags. So the first one, I'm just showing you because they're like finished things I've been working on. Whether you're interested in buying them or not is I just want to show you what I've been busy with. I've actually boxed these, the corners on these. So this is nice. It's more like this sort of like linen effect cotton. Little handle on there, little key ring. There's the drawstring. They're not padded, but course they're lined. And then this has got this really nice pale blue bee fabric from my hometown, Manchester. The worker bee is our emblem or symbol of Manchester. Again, dandelion burst, handle, zipper, keyring. I've not boxed these in because this is actually a lot thicker. This is very, very lightweight. This is quite thick. This very heavy. This is like with this really thick denim. Again, drawstring. I think this would be great for socks. Mine at home, I used it for two. My shawl and my little cardigan were both in a project bag together. Obviously when the shawl gets bigger that won't be possible. And then this has got the nice pinstripe. I think it's like ticking, is it called ticking? And then the last one I've made is again in this really heavy thick denim, and it's like this nice botanical print. This is like these two are like upholstery fabric, so they're quite thick. That's why I don't pad them. And then it's got this beautiful fresh pale blue cotton check on the inside. Yep. So that's what I've been busy with. Quite a lot of finished stuff, I think. And yeah, keep an eye on the Etsy store. I'll list some stuff because I'm running out of space and I need to start getting rid of some stuff. Okay guys, oh, one thing I will mention is I've not made it yet because I've been so busy, but in this space here behind me is a board. I've mentioned it before. It's going to be called the Love Board, and if you are a maker of anything and you have a little Etsy shop, or you just want a shout out, or you have a YouTube channel or whatever, if you are a hand maker of anything, a crafty person like me, send me your card, sticker, anything that's got your logo and name on it, and I'll give you a shout out and hang you on my board. Of course, Ellie sent me her card with the beautiful gift, so Ellie will be going on the board when it comes. You can see if you're interested in following Ellie. I have actually got a pin from Jeanette. Jeanette's pins, the enamel pins, it's beautiful. It's like a blue button with her logo in it, and I don't even know why. I was trying to think why it would be in work, but I left it in work. The office is closed now. When I say work, I mean my office in Amsterdam, which is where I work. So I will make like a fabric hanging, so if anybody wants to send pins as well. So I have got a card from Ellie and a pin from Jeanette when I eventually get into the office. So anybody wants a shout out on the Love Board, I have had a couple of beautiful cards from some lovely friends. So the B one behind me, that's from Maureen, who's one of our lovely viewers. She's made this beautiful card for me. I actually had a little cry on that. If you want to watch the vlog and watch me, I don't know if I'm an ugly crier or not. We'll have to just have a look, see if I'm an ugly or pretty crier. I don't know. And then the card next to it, that was made from by my friend Julie. I've sort of bullied her into picking up her hook and crocheting again, so she crocheted me a card. So yeah, it's nice. Share the love. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap up the podcast, and hope you've all enjoyed it. Don't forget, if you're a fan, like and subscribe and say something about yourself below. I'd love to hear what you've been busy with, and if you're tempted to make anything that I'm working on at the moment, I'd also like to hear that too. And yeah, if you're interested in the make along, if you've got any questions, let me know, or you can ask Jeanette, and we'll be happy to answer them. Okay guys, I'll see you in the next podcast, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how much I've got done and how busy I've been, and the daily vlogs will continue as I'm quite enjoying them. So take care, see you all soon, stay safe, bye for now.